Okay, it's going.
Okay. So, John.
Yep.
Welcome to this interview.
Thank you, Paul.
What is your idea of heaven? Does it exist? Is it a real place? Or is it just an expression of your desires?
I think it's a wish of something to look forward to after death. I think there is certainly a life after death, but it's not what I would call going through the pearly gates and and finding yourself in everlasting heaven, so to speak. I think it's more returning to your home, to your soul.
Jivan Mukta.
Yeah, that's right. Jivan Mukta of the soul.
What is it that survives death?
There's not, well, what survives death largely is our experiences.
Skandhas.
Yeah, our experiences in life, the things that we've learned in life. It's often why life is so difficult, because there's a lot for us to learn. And I believe that the soul at some point decides to reincarnate some of itself into a human being to learn, and as part of that process, it has its bag of skandhas or karmas, whatever you want to call, from past lives, which help us to learn and understand more about ourselves. So, when I talk about karma, karma is a sort of a self-correcting process where we learn from our past actions. And another way to look at karma is it's a balancing force in the universe to keep things in harmony. So in our ignorance, when we create disharmony, that has to eventually be corrected in one way or another. But through a process whereby which we learn to understand about balance and harmony.
Soul survives death. But what comes after? Is heaven eternal, or is it limited? And will you stay in heaven be forever, or we need to go back somewhere?
I wouldn't say that the soul world is eternal. I think that's it's a medium whereby it's not so much the personality, like John Vorstermans doesn't grow indefinitely, but when I die, the experiences of my life go back and enrich the soul, and the soul grows through that journey. So we might have one soul for many, many lives, but eventually the soul grows as well, and there comes a point when it merges or disintegrates into the spirit, into the heavenly home, so to speak.
The dewdrop substance of a shining sea.
That's right, as Edward Arnold said. It's like you could see us as a dewdrop, and we see ourselves as separate. It's not until we understand that we're not separate, which is the analogy of the dewdrop merging into the shiny sea. So we become one, emerge one. So we see no difference between one another anymore. We are one with the universe.
It's still rolling?
Yeah. So I guess I would say that heaven is our resting place. And heaven is where we all come together and we see ourselves united as one. There's no distinction between you and between me.
So is the soul feminine or male?
The soul is neither. The soul is sexless.
So angels aren't having sex?
Definitely not, no. So angels are, they're quite different from humans. So angels have a purpose, just as humans have a purpose, but their purpose is much more involved in creating harmony in nature and helping the world grow. And there's angels at different levels. There's planetary angels, spiritual angels, all sorts of angels with different purposes. Like some angels help the world evolve, and that's their role. Other angels help the solar system evolve, and that's their role.
So angels, do they share heaven? Do they have their own heaven, or do they never die? Are they on a separate path of evolution?
They have their own evolutionary path, and angels, like humans, evolve as time goes, and they learn and grow as well. So the evolution is a natural part of the universe. Everything evolves, everything grows.
So if we see angels in our heaven, they're probably just projections. Is it still going?
It's still going. It's the angels will see sometimes are projections, but we can see them at so many different levels. From sylphs and salamanders, gnomes. All these things are a part of the evolutionary process, which we don't normally see and aren't often aware of, although many people do glimpse them at times.
So let's wrap it up. Is there any question which I should have asked you?
When we're exploring the idea of heaven, it's hard to be succinct because so many people have different ideas of what heaven might be. I've often spent a lot of time listening to people who've had near-death experiences, and the story they tell is often quite different, but yet when they wake up from their experience, they have lost all fear of death. Their personality has changed. They often become loving beings, only wishing to help others. And that really explains to me the concept of heaven. They go to a place which is peaceful and calm and loving. Yes, it is not quite heaven itself, but you can see that just the experience shows that, when you listen to these stories, each one tells their stories through their own earth life experience. So a Christian, near-death experience, would talk about meeting God or meeting Jesus as part of that process, or retell it in a Christian framework. And people of different beliefs would do the same thing, but those who have no belief tell quite an open and quite a different story. So it gives us a glimpse into what happens on the other side of death by exploring those sort of things.
Thank you, John, for that interview.
That's okay.
It's I'll prepare.